Welcome back to We Need to Talk. Joining us now in the studio, Phil Jackson, 13-time NBA champion, 2 rings earned as a New York Knicks player, and 11 titles as head coach of the Chicago Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers. What a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you. It's right down the street. So
That's right. We should have made you walk over.
No.
No, not anymore. Not with those legs. So look, as president of the team, president of basketball operations, Knicks are sitting at 11-9, third in the Atlantic Division. What is the state of the team at this juncture?
We're in flux. We're kind of a team that's learning who we are. We have 3 new starters on a 5-man roster, obviously starting roster, and some have been in and out, so we're just starting to get a groove, I think, as to who we are, and we're going on a West Coast swing at the end of this week. We have a Cleveland game on Wednesday, Miami game tonight as we speak, and then that 5-game swing will make a big difference to us as to how we're going to approach this season.
Phil, I got introduced to the triangle in 1996 in the Olympics, and it's just one of my favorite offenses because the ball finds the open players. You move it around. It's not a lot of one-on-one, but in every different position, something great can happen. Why do you think people are so resistant to this amazing offense and running it?
I think because there are 2 reasons. One is that it's always a little bit of a pie-in-your-face type of thing to say that this has been the reason for winning. The reason for winning, obviously, is good players.
Right.
And when good players want to play together and they join in a form or a format to play together, then really good things happen. I think the other thing is simply it becomes like something to attack. And I think it's easy to attack it because it doesn't promote basic basketball that's being played now in the NBA, which is an open floor.
Right.
Keep the lane open, allow the opportunity of guard play, screen roll play, big men rolling the lane, and then 3-point shooting. But there's a place for it. It doesn't matter. It's still basketball, and there's still a place for it.
Yeah. So when you, just following up, but when you think about the history of the game, and I don't think of that as old school because I feel like it got everyone involved. It's an amazing offense when you have an inside game and then an outside game. Yeah. It doesn't limit you from 3-point range, but you have Carmelo Anthony, who is an amazing athlete, an amazing scorer. Do you feel like this offense, is he understanding that it's not a stagnant offense, but it is an offense that the ball has to move a lot more? Is that kind of a conflict of interest, that offense, and having a great player like him?
He could play that role that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant played. That's a perfect spot for him to be in that isolated position on the weak side because it's an overload offense. And there's a weak side man that always has advantage if the ball's swung. Carmelo a lot of times wants to hold the ball longer than we have a rule. If you hold it past 2 seconds,
right,
you benefit the defense. So he has a little bit of a tendency to hold it to 3, 4, 5 seconds. Then everybody comes to a stop, and that is one of the things we work with.
Yeah.
But he's adjusted to it. He knows what he can do, and he's willing to see its success.
When we're talking Carmelo Anthony, not many like to praise him. Gets a lot of heat from the media, from the fans. Is he misunderstood? What have you learned about being around him these past few years?
Carmelo's genuinely a solid person, a citizen. I think, he has good intentions. I think some of the things that come along with him, I always say, I can go back to Boeheim and say that was a zone that he always played in college. But that's just a joke.
Yeah, blame it on Boeheim.
The aspect of learning in the NBA and developing habits become entrenched, and sometimes you have to break those habits to change your manner of playing. And I think that's one of the things he's had to do with this new group of guys. It's a little bit different. He doesn't have sole possession of the offense. There are other people that are involved in the offense, and he embraces that. But then you still have habits you have to break, and I think that's one of the things. Defensively, we've talked to him a lot about movement, and that aspect of we're now into high performance things where we have cameras that can legislate or watch movement on the court all the time, 24 each half. You can go back and check that. We're trying to get him to get more active as a defensive player. That's one of the things that I think is noticeable, that he has changed, and we're liking that.
But when you look at your team, you talk about the new players coming in, two in particular, Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah, being former Bulls. I'm from Chicago. You know, Noah's been injured, but Kristaps Porzingis is the one that seems to be the popular one for the fans. Is that because Melo's making him a better player, or is it because it's something that he's doing on his own?
No, this is he's a unicorn. He's just a standout guy. I mean, you don't see people like this playing basketball with the grace, speed, athleticism that he has, and ability to shoot the ball as well as he can shoot the ball. You know, we sat in a position that was an underside of a draft when we had the fourth position. We had two as far as record goes. We dropped to 4. And, you know, I was kidding the LA people that you better draft, you know, Kristaps because he's going to be the player of this draft besides Karl Anthony Towns, who is a terrific player himself. They chose a guard, which we like. We like Russell. He's a great player, too. But Kristaps turned out to be that unique player, that one that has things that you just don't see on the basketball court. He does things that are unique almost in every game. His size is defining defensively. He changes the game a little bit. He's still not a great strength player, post player. Offensively, you know, he shoots 3-pointers. He can run the court. He does a lot of things. He's still learning what he can do. You have to realize, you know, 3-4 years ago, he probably grew 8 to 10 inches in that period of time. And so he's just adjusting to that height. And you know how that is when you're just growing. And you're like, right, you're just, so he's adjusting to his size. And, you know, Carmelo recognizes it. It's neither here nor there. He's a very different player than Joakim. Joakim is a center, non-shooter, an energy guy, a defensive-minded guy, offensive rebounding. That part of this game is terrific. And so they don't conflict with each other.
Yeah.
Look, you talk about the team being in flux. What about you? You stepped away from coaching after the 2010 season. What do you miss most about coaching? When you sit there and you have to watch all these players that you're talking about, what do you miss the most?
I don't miss the game, flying, travel. You know, I miss the friends that are around the country that you could check into, you know, once a year, twice a year. Various friends that you've developed over the course of years of traveling. But I think it's the teaching that you miss. I think coaching is really a teaching atmosphere, attitude that you have to carry to that game. And a lot of our teaching is lost. We're doing a lot of what I call coaching, drawing up plays, setting up things that are rotations and things like that. But a lot of the teaching aspects of the game are being missed. Seems to be a complaint that goes from, you know, high school to college to now professional basketball, is that not enough teaching is being done in basketball.